Hey everybody, I am at Red Lobster and I am enjoying the new seafood boil, and it does have heat. Oh my goodness, I got the spicy, I got the shrimp, and it is actually very, very tasty. I am Dawn Marie Morris. I am the Chief Training Officer of the World Class Training Institute. And of course, the Leaders Lounge is what you are watching, and we are here to help leaders get all of the great leadership goodness to help you to thrive and grow in your workplace and personally. I don't know if you guys saw yet, but Red Lobster, which filed bankruptcy in 2024, has come officially out of bankruptcy under the leadership of Mr. Damola Adamolekun. Damola Adamolekun. Now, who is Damola Adamolekun? Well, he is the current CEO, Chief Executive Officer of Red Lobster. He was the former CEO of PF Chang's, and his work there helped to turn PF Chang's around, remodeled it, helped them to earn great revenues, and he is now helping Red Lobster to do just the same. And I have been studying Mr. Adamolekun because when I first saw him speak, I believe the first time I saw him was on ABC. I thought he was just so poised, and he seemed to listen well to the questions. Sometimes when leaders are asked a question, they do not either they don't respond to the question or they'll talk around the question. I got impressed with Mr. Adamolekun because he is one who thoroughly answered the question. Now, when I saw that Red Lobster was recently officially out of bankruptcy, I shouldn't say pulled out, they are officially out of bankruptcy under Mr. Adamolekun, who's been a part of the Red Lobster brand for a couple of years now. I was really not surprised because I again, when I first saw him, I thought that he was, as they say, a force to be reckoned with. And so after seeing that they had gotten pulled out of bankruptcy, I said, let me just go ahead and do a little research into what his success is and share that with everybody here today. So please forgive me for eating as well. Well, don't forgive me for eating because I'm intentionally eating because I want you all also to know about these, what is it called? The seafood boil that he smartly brought to Red Lobster. So hold on just one moment because it is a little spicy. Before I get into what has made Red Lobster successful under his leadership, I do have a couple of quick things that I am going to share. The first one is these are just a couple of housekeeping items. The first one is that the World Class Training Institute, which is the company, my company, that provides leadership and professional development training, is hosting a training class December the 6th, 2025 from 10:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. in Nashville, Tennessee for small business owners, and it's called the B2B Development Accelerator. So make sure that you tune in or that you register for the B2B Accelerator. It is, again, an in-person class because we want for people to come together and really share and learn all of the things that help B2B people be successful. We hear a lot of times about how to sell to consumers, but I don't see a lot of training that is reasonable and that is kind of a place for secrets to be shared about how to be successful as business to business small business owners. So when you're selling to corporate clients, it is a different world, and you want to be ready for how to sell to that audience. So again, it's going across the screen, and I'll leave that there for a moment. It's the B2B Business Development Accelerator. It's happening in December in Nashville, and the URL is right there. It's worldclasstraining.net/personal. All right, y'all, come on back to Red Lobster. Let me tell you. So when I was growing up, Red Lobster was like the place to come, right? And then even as an adult, when my son was young, we would come after church to Red Lobster a lot on Sundays, and it would be packed. There's still a good crowd here today. Even though I'm sitting in a place where I wanted to sit just to make sure I made this video with a certain amount of um, space and light. So that's why there's not a whole lot of people behind me, but there's a good crowd of people here. But growing up on a Saturday, there probably would be all of these seats packed. Well, Mr. Adamolekun came in and became the CEO when Red Lobster had gone into bankruptcy, and he had began the work to really turn around the brand, which may be why the crowd is the way it is. Again, you can't necessarily see because of where I'm sitting, but trust me, the crowd is growing. And frankly, if it had not been for him and his leadership, I might not even be here today, right? So let's get into what he has been doing well. The first thing that I noticed, and I shared this just a moment ago, is as a leader, I'm noticing that he is listening well. It's very good. Very good. No, I'm great. Thank you. So, leaders have to listen well. This seafood boil is an indication of how, as a leader, here it is right here. It's so good. So good. As a leader, Mr. Adamolekun listened to the customers. So first, he recognized that a lot of people love seafood boils today. I don't know if you're in your area, you all have it, but in our area, we have something called juicy crab, which specializes in the seafood boil. So he said, let's bring that to Red Lobster. And then after he introduced it, he found that people were saying some people were loving it, some people were saying we need a little more heat to the seafood boil. And he said they made that change within a week to add additional spice to the seafood boil. And I'm telling y'all, it does bring the heat. Now, you can still get the original if you like, but if you want it with the heat, they have spicy and they have extra spicy. So that's the first thing that he did. Now, I'm going to even though we're not necessarily talking about this restaurant right now, I do have to juxtapose it with what recently happened with Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel apparently did not listen to their customers, and as a result, they had an extreme backlash when they went to change up their logo. The logo redesign was a disaster, and it was because the CEO apparently, or the CEO's team and their consultants, did not take time to listen to the customers, which you have to do. So kudos to Mr. Adamolekun for listening well. The next thing is you have to have a vision and share your vision broadly. When Mr. Adamolekun first took over, and even in the months to follow, you would consistently see him in the media. You saw him discussing what the changes were going to be, discussing what his vision was, making sure that people at all levels, I didn't just see him on major networks like CBS and ABC and NBC, but I also saw him on popular podcasts sharing his vision. So by sharing your vision broadly, you start getting people, the customers, on board. It's one thing to get your executive leadership on board, but they're not the ones in the trenches every day. Mr. Adamolekun let everybody know not everybody, but those people who were watching Red Lobster know that these are some changes that were happening. You, as a leader, have to make sure that you are sharing your vision broadly. So that is the second thing I believe that he's doing very well. The third thing is this: I heard him talk about what they call their red carpet service. Now, I told you all I'm here at Red Lobster. I did get a little lemon drop, so um, but I did ask the server, who's only been here 3 months, so he may not even remember. So there was a lot of training that was online. So Mr. Adamolekun, you may want to do some in-person training, because even though the person said he heard of it, it hadn't resonated very strongly. But he said they do mention it occasionally, but he had not heard it called the red carpet service. But this is what Mr. Adamolekun calls it: is the red carpet service, which is recognize, engage, and delight. So by gathering and galvanizing your team around a unified strategy, it helps everybody to get in alignment with what the expectations are. So these are three simple ones: recognize the customers when they come in, and engage them, excuse me, and then finally delight them, right? And so I have to say that even though the gentleman didn't know those particular words, they did recognize me very quickly. He engaged me when I had a question about the type of drink. He quickly got me an answer, and my food is delicious, so I'm definitely delighted. So that red carpet service is something that is going to serve them well as they continue on. And then finally, this piece I heard him say on one of the podcasts, and I had to share it with you all. So when you're thinking about how to treat your customers well, he said there are two pieces to this red carpet service. He said number one, if it is of course the service piece, how you manage your customers. That means, are you getting the food out on time? Is it being served hot? Is the order accurate? These are the management pieces, right? And then this other piece is the hospitality, how you treat your customers. And 9 times out of 10, when I see people who have bad reviews, it's not about the service part. It's about this part. It's the hospitality. How are people being treated? Do they feel cared for and valued when they come into your store? Which means that if they have a concern, are you handling it quickly? Are you greeting them with a smile? Are you offering them the opportunity to come back? I heard at the last table, my server, the biscuits weren't ready yet, but he was very apologetic and said he would send them home with some. That's hospitality. And so when service fails, if hospitality reigns, then you have a greater chance of being successful. So um, I think that these are the main components that are really driving the success of Red Lobster right now. And Mr. Adamolekun, I think that he is doing a really great job of making sure that not only the executive leadership, but also the customers recognize what he is trying to do. And he is making adjustments where he can. And then where he can, he says he seems to be very transparent, just like some people really want the um, endless shrimp. I've heard in almost too many interviews people asking about the endless shrimp. And he's like, there's not a plan to bring the endless shrimp back. And he also shared in one of the interviews, which I thought was interesting, was that the endless shrimp actually came as a result. He said he couldn't go into a lot of detail, but the last CEO actually owned the shrimp company, which kind of makes sense. Okay, well, if we have endless shrimp, um, you know, it's easier to have because I own the company, right? Like I could do endless training because I own a training company. So I thought that was an interesting share of his. But yes, we wish Red Lobster much, much success. This show today, you see, I'm going to be wrapping it up in about 15 minutes because I got to get back to eating. And it is definitely, definitely delicious. So if you have not visited your Red Lobster in a while, make sure that you come back because Mr. Adamolekun is leading Red Lobster back to the black and helping them to be profitable and delicious as they always have been. And of course, I cannot close out without going back to this. Here is the Cheddar Bay biscuit. Let's see if it's still as delicious. Mm, it is still just as delicious as I remember. Yes, portion size is a little smaller, but still just as delicious. So again, listening, keeping the things that work, and fixing the things that don't. That is the key to great leadership. So, again, for everybody, make sure that you go to worldclasstraining.net/personal and register for the B2B Development Accelerator, which is starting on December the 6th, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. If you cannot make it, we may do an online component of this, so contact me if you have questions and you cannot make it to Nashville. But December 6th, 2025 in Nashville from 10:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. We really wanted to be in person because it is a conclave for small business owners that market to corporate clients. And the best way to really have a great conclave is for everybody to be in person. So we really want to make it an in-person event. So make sure to go to worldclasstraining.net/personal. And then also, I want to share with you all too. Of course, I'm doing very well, Julian. Thank you. And see, great service. So make sure you pick up my book also, worldclasstraining.net/agape. That's worldclasstraining.net/agape. So in closing on Mr. Adamolekun, Damola Adamolekun, these are the things that he has done well, and we should try to do well as leaders. We need to listen well. Always listen well. You may not necessarily take these suggestions, but you want to let your teams and let your customers know that you are listening to them. The second thing that you have to do is when you have a vision, not if, when you have a vision, especially if it's different than what it has been, you as the leader, and if you're a new leader to an organization, you should be drawing your own vision. Share your vision broadly. It has to be shared among your team. It has to be shared among your um, their teams, and it has to be shared to your customer base. You want to make sure that you manage your customers well through service, and that you treat your customers well through hospitality. And then if it works for you, and it should, come up with a statement that undergirds how you are going to serve your customers. For them, it's the red carpet service: recognize, engage, and delight. So for all of you all, thank you so much for watching. As always, I'm going to go back and enjoy this delicious dinner here at Red Lobster. And cheers to them. And until next time at the Leaders Lounge, always remember, when you are better, you're absolutely better. Take care.